The debate has come up this week because the Tories have been fairly keen to associate themselves with the Union Jack. It's pretty transparent that it's happening, and I think that it's happening for two reasons. The first is that it works electorally, like YouGov, the nation's shit stirrers that are always polling us on every single fucking thing, just to create as much conflict as possible. YouGov have found that 60% of people find a more positive association with somebody that associates themselves with the flag. So it kind of works electorally, so it's effective. Therefore, it being effective means that there's certain elements of the left that they don't want to do things that work electorally. What do you mean? Trying to win over the middle ground? We want to reach out to niche groups and issues that confuse the general public. That's where we're winning elections, okay? Associating ourselves with the flag. Keir Starmer giving interviews to newspapers that people actually fucking read. We're against that. And the other thing is that they are the party of the union, most demonstrably, right? They're the Conservative and Unionist party. So, yeah, it's not weird that they would associate themselves with the flag, whereas, the SNP do that. The SNP... Well, they love a bit of the old saltaire, don't they? They love it. They love to be draped in the Scottish flag. But that's okay, because that nationalism is cute and it's fluffy, right? And it's Nicola, Nicola's so adorable. And she definitely didn't mislead Parliament because the inquiry that I chose to focus on said that. I'm just going to ignore the other ones that said otherwise. Just pick your own fucking inquiry when it comes to Nicola. But yeah, the Union Jack, no, that's bad. That's negative. It's an endorsement of slavery.
What most people think.
Amid this sort of febrile flag-shagging debate comes a moment on BBC Breakfast when Charlie State was speaking to British Government Minister Robert Jenrick. I've said this before, but I just think Jenrick just sounds like, I don't know why, he sounds like one of those conscious rappers. The new album from Jenrick. He sounds like he's mates with Drake or J. Cole or people like that. Jenrick's new album, feeling the COVID vibes from Jenrick.
What most people think.
He concluded this interview and he sort of took the mickey out of the size of Robert Jenrick's flag in the background. And Nagamanchetti had a good laugh at it. Because they were taking the piss out of Jenrick, a lot of the kind of like Remainer types, EU types, were sharing this clip of it where they were sort of enjoying that fact, the level of ridicule that was being meted out to Robert Jenrick. If you just looked at some of the posts of the people posting about this, a lot of them had the EU flag in their biographies, right? Where you get to this hypocrisy then. It just shows how selective it all is. Where you're thinking, like, you do realise that you're just picking the flags that you like, you know what I mean? If you're mocking sentimental and symbolic attachments, maybe it's worth asking which ones you have, Goes, yeah, you should never, it's just ridiculous to shag a flag, says person draped in EU, BLM, Extinction Rebellion, rainbow flag, fucking Sainsbury's. But then it was further complicated by the fact that Nagamanchetti had liked some tweets that were offensive. I have to ask myself at this point, do I give a shit about this stuff? Do I give a shit if Charlie State and Nagamanchetti want to have a little bit of a giggle about a Union Jack? Not really, but this is the sort of consequence of where we've been heading for some time, haven't it? We've had, and I don't want to say the left started it, but the left started it, right? Is this constant attempt to get people in trouble for things that they've said, things that they've shared, things that they've liked. It's been going on for what? It feels like 5-6 years now. I mean, they tried to cancel John Wayne, for fuck's sake.
What most people think.
They're not saying that nobody on the BBC can have an opinion, but if you're sort of like a face of the channel, it does help them to seem impartial. You know what I mean? It's like if you're doing news every single day, it kind of helps. You know what I mean? If it doesn't seem like you put all your money on one horse. So for example, Emily Maitlis, her famous, totally non-biased opening monologue on Newsnight, where all she did was deal in the facts. That's what the lefty said the following day. She was just dealing in facts. I mean, if I remember rightly about Emily Maitlis's monologue that day, she said that Boris Johnson had blind loyalty to Dominic Cummings. I think you could make a very, very strong argument that in the instance where Dominic Cummings kept his job last summer, that there was blind loyalty. It's still a matter of fucking opinion though, isn't it?
What most people think.
So when Naga Manchetti apologised for liking those tweets, there were a lot of people that were saying we're basically living in a fascist state. I would say I'd like to. I mean, what I'm going to say now is going to sound really fascist, but I'd like to round up. I'd like to round up all the people that say that, and I would like to, at the very least, put them on a reality show, living with fascism, where they spend a year of their life actually living under fascist rules, and then I think that maybe they might understand that a face of the BBC being asked to just not like tweets that seem to be offensive about the Union Jack is not exactly fascism. Do you know what I mean? It's not exactly fascism, and it does seem odd when it comes to people that would mock the anti-lockdown demonstrators for saying that being locked in our homes is fascism and being fined for leaving the country is fascism. They're like, no, none of that is fascism. That's just being a nice person. Okay, I tell you, it is fascism is having to apologise for liking a tweet. That's fascism.